My dear brothers and sisters, as I said this morning, in this homily, Therese will teach us. Also, it is not permitted that women teach in the church according to St. Paul, but she is a teacher of the church, and so I thought to ask her to give us some advice, some testimony. So my homily will consist mainly in some quotes of the Little Flower. Whoever has read the book, L'Histoire d'une âme, the autobiographic writings of Saint Therese, has been moved by the tremendous power of these words written by a young Carmelite sister, 24 years old, when she wrote her Histoire d'une âme. So the first point I want to say is how she behaved when feeling her own weakness. Shaped by St. Paul's teaching, she was convinced, when I am weak, I am strong. Now, of course, this is the opposite to our work, where I have to be strong and not weak. But listen what she says. The weaker one is, without desires or virtues, the more suited one is for the workings of this consuming and transforming love. Let us remain then very far from all that sparkles. Let us love our littleness. Let us love to feel nothing. Then we shall be poor in spirit, and Jesus will come to look for us. And however far we may be, He will transform us in flames of love. Oh, how I would like to be able to make you understand what I feel. It is confidence, and nothing but confidence, that must lead us to love. La confiance est rien que la confiance. You can imagine how new that may have sounded in a time where Jansenism was so largely diffused among the faithful, and especially among the pious. La confiance est rien que la confiance. A second quote. We can say that what Therese has brought to the church is ein Klimawandel, a change of climate. In a world where Jansenist mentality, Jansenist spirituality was prevailing, she contributed to another view of divine justice, because in the Jansenist tradition divine justice was seen as the Zorn Gottes, the anger of God. And that Jesus had to be between God's anger and us, to put a barrier of mercy. But that is the contrary to what Therese tells us. Shortly before she died, in the yellow notebook is written what she said to her sisters. She was not any longer able to write, but the sisters noted what she said in her weakness and illness. She said, "I feel that I'm about to enter into my rest. But I feel especially that my mission is about to begin. My mission of making God loved as I love Him. My mission to make God loved as I love Him." You may say this is presumptuous. This is too strong. How can she take her love for God as example for the others? But she was convinced that her mission is to make God loved as I love Him. And how does she teach this way? My mission of making God loved as I loved Him, of giving my little way to souls. When it was the question whether Therese can become doctor of the church, a Carmelite nun of 24 years, becoming doctor of the church. And I see all the great professors here. Yeah. We are moved by the question, who is really a teacher of the church? Only the saints are the true theologians. And the little flower, with her teaching of the little way, was recognized by the church as teaching an eminens doctrina. As it was questioned, has Therese an eminence doctrine, eminent doctrine, a teaching that is so relevant that it merits to be declared teaching of the church? And then she continues, if God answers my desires, my heaven will be spent on earth until the end of the world. Yes, I want to spend my heaven in doing good on earth. Je passerai mon ciel à faire du bien sur la terre. That isn't impossible, since from the bosom of the beatific vision, the angels watch over us. I can make heaven a feast of rejoicing. I can't rest as long as there are souls to be saved. Imagine, we speak about heavenly rest, so to say, to be in pension, un pensionnaire du ciel. Yeah, retired from all earthly duties, retired in heaven. For the little flower, this is not at all what she wants. I can't rest as long as there are souls to be saved. But when the angel will have said, time is no more, as the angel says in the book of Revelation, then I will take my rest. What a courage Imagine a young nun of 24 years, so powerful. I'll be able to rejoice because the number of the elect will be completed, and because all will have entered into joy and repose. My heart beats with joy at this song. So she doesn't enter in heaven to take her retirement, but to begin her mission. To begin her mission on earth. So, as she is the patron of ITI, I think we can really trust that she will continue her mission. And a last text I want to share with you. It's again and again amazing to see with what power and conviction she speaks. And she is not shy to compare herself to Christ's mission. Because she said, all what is mine is yours. That in the parable of the prodigal son said the father to the elder son, all what is mine is yours. So she took this literally and said, all what is God's is mine. So what can be attributed to God? He has given to us. Audacious. She's so, and she teaches us to have a faith that is audacious, you say? Audacious. I give you just one quote from that what she considers her conversion. What was her conversion? At the age of 14, the night, the Christmas night when she was 14. She had been very often sick and nervous and very extremely sensitive. Tears at every moment. Her sisters were a little bit, she was the youngest, were a little nervous about her agassé. And finally her father, mother had already died, her father was a little bit exasperated about the weakness and sensitivity of this girl. And a remark escaped from him. It was the Christmas Eve of when she was 14. And the tradition is Christmas gifts for the children, because they believe in the Christian. And the father said, oh, finally, thanks God, it's the last Christmas. Next year she will be old enough. The sisters were afraid that Therese will burst out in tears again. But then something mysterious happened. She didn't weep. She didn't cry. She called it a total conversion. And she says, on that luminous night, which shed such light on the delights of the Holy Trinity, Jesus, the gentle little child of only 1 hour, changed the night of my soul into rays of light. On that night, when he made himself subject to weakness and suffering for love of me, he made me strong and courageous, arming me with his weapons. He made me strong and courageous, arming me with his weapons. Then she said, since that night, I have never been defeated in any combat, but rather walking from victory to victory, beginning, so to speak, to run as a giant. How audacious she is, knowing her own weakness, knowing her littleness, but confessing that tremendous strength she receives from the one who is her unique love. So, just these three quotations, it may be an invitation for you, mainly those who are new at ITI. I hope it's a must in the readings of ITI, the story of the soul, the writings of Saint Therese. It's such nurturing teaching. Let us ask Therese to strengthen our faith.